Hey everyone, it's Ben Hardy here, and in today's video we're going over a 2021 Ford Bronco. A huge shout out and thank you to the Performance Ford Truckland up in Bountiful, Utah for giving me some time with this Bronco. I'm going to include a link to their inventory in the description down below. Let's get into the video. So let's go over this 2021 Ford Bronco Outer Banks, finished in cyber orange. Very interesting color, and like I said with the title of this video, this Bronco has a very interesting spec overall with the exterior and interior. But you guys will see the cyber orange paint right there. It's really hard to capture it on camera. In person, it looks more like a yellow gold rather than in orange whatsoever. But anyways, notice the LED lights there with the signature Ford Bronco logo that's in white. There's a camera in the center. We've got the standard bumpers here with the parking sensors, fog lights, and all that fun stuff. Notice how the bottom kind of like slopes down. Obviously that helps out with the approach angle, but it also looks cool. And then you've got the tow hooks right there as well. And again, I tried my absolute best to capture this color for you guys, but it's just like, it's impossible. It just doesn't come on camera. It looks more orange on camera than it does in person. So I think it's interesting that Ford called it cyber orange. Same thing with the new code orange on the Raptor, because that looks like red from the pictures I've seen so far rather than orange. Maybe Ford is colorblind. But anyways, love the wheels on this package. I think they look absolutely fantastic. If you guys are wondering, they're 255 millimeters, and I think I zoomed in on that for you guys. So you can see 18-inch wheels, and you guys can see the metallic trim there as well. Looks really good. I tried to show you as much information as I could here on the tire itself, but you guys know I'm a huge fan of contrast, and the fact you get the contrast with the black and the silver I think is just perfect. And then here's a look at the suspension. You guys can see the tires actually would do really good in most off-road situations, then also in the snow and all that kind of stuff, because they're a good all-terrain tire. Painted fender flares, got the Outer Banks logo as well there on the side with the blue accent. You guys will see that blue a little bit later. With the mirrors, you guys can see the color a little bit better, just a little bit. But again, the camera's still kind of like, the filter with it is still kind of just making it look more orange than it looks like in person. You guys can see the camera, how the light gets darker because the camera doesn't know what to do with the color because it's kind of bright. But you've got the side steps there on the side, same exact tire and wheel setup in the back as well. What would be really cool is like 33s. Those would look really good on the Outer Banks package, actually, if you ask me. And then you guys can see the whole setup with the suspension there in the rear as well, and then the exhaust tip just sticking out the back. And then the rear bumpers do have the parking sensors, which again is obviously nicer parking. Notice that it is a soft top. You're mostly going to see Bronco soft tops right now because of that hard top delay. And then we've got the LED lights here with the turn signal that's been integrated into the whole lighting cluster. I love how it looks on the Broncos. Initially I was like, I'm not sure, but the more that I see it, the more I love it. We've got the spare tire with the camera in the center. And then opening up the rear area here, notice how much of it is body painted. Notice behind like the panels and everything, you guys can see that cyber orange, which is yellow. We'll call it cyber yellow now. That's Ben Hardy changed it. It's now cyber yellow. But anyways, got the pillars there on the side that are exposed when you have the top off that look really cool. I just like how the cyber yellow has been carried into the interior. But notice right down here, got some extra storage. And then also if you want to change the fluids and everything, they have the stuff there on the back for you. So pretty handy. And I didn't shut it all the way, of course. Got to kind of, muscle it in a little bit. Notice there is a recovery hook there. And also, nice plate there. Performance Truck Bountiful. Nice plate. But anyways, going from that to the door panel, this is where things get weird. Like I said, I know that people do this, but like the brown interior with the, yellow exterior, again, I know it's cyber orange, but looks yellow, is so interesting to me. Like, this is the strangest spec. And then you have the blue stitching on top of it with like the gray. There are so many colors going on here. It's crazy. You have the light brown, the darker brown, the blue, the black, and then you have the orange, and it's just like overwhelming in a sense, but I also love it because it's so weird. I love weird things, and it's weird. But you guys saw the window controls there in the center. And then popping over here to the front, notice we have the Ford keypad. Definitely a nice feature to have. And again, still have the brown leather there on this side. Blind spot monitoring in the mirror. And popping to the front seats, same exact setup with the blue stitching and the brown and the more brown. And I still don't know how to feel about it. But I like I said, I love it. And I also don't at the same time. But actually popping in here, you guys can see just, I just went into accessory mode if you're wondering for the video, so I just pressed the stop start button, took my foot off the brake. Notice that with all the Broncos, you get the same gauge cluster, which I think is great that it did that across the lineup so that there's a lot of consistency with all of that. But with the Outer Banks drive mode wise, you get the normal eco, and then it has the sport as well. And then you've got the slippery, you've got the mud and the ruts, and then you've got the sand mode on top of that. If you guys are wondering why the check engine light is blinking, that's because it's an accessory mode, and it'll do that when you're just in the accessory mode. Have the same steering wheel that all the other Broncos have as well, with all those controls on it. And then also you have the trail turn assist, stability control, and then the hazard lights at the top. Don't get the disconnect in the front. Don't get the lockers or anything like that. The Outer Banks, again, is more of like, you can't take it off-road, of course. It's a Bronco, but it's more of an on-road package. And then this one does have the 12-inch display, which definitely cool. Android Auto, Apple CarPlay, pretty nice stuff happening there. And then moving from that, you guys can see with the features tab with the zone lighting, all that kind of stuff. But overall, you guys know I love the 12-inch display. And then look at the camera system, really crisp. You've got the front camera. You have a couple different views right there with the front camera, which also helps out, obviously, for parking. But then if you did take it off-road, that would help out tremendously on some of those tighter trails where you're having to really traverse stuff. And then also, we've got more blue in the vents. And I think it's different than the blue that's on the stitching. There's just lots of different colors. Dual zone climate, heated seats for the front, heated steering wheel as well. And then notice there's blue on that grab handle. And then there's brown up above. Again, lots of colors. Very, very interesting. Got some extra storage right there in the front. And then we got the shifter for that 10-speed automatic. It does have the manual shift focus or function. I said focus because the camera wouldn't focus right there. Notice with the driveline select right there, we've got the different drive lines. And I'll point at it again because we are missing one thing. And then also you guys can see the window controls, mirror adjustment. No 4-wheel auto for the Outer Banks package, but that's okay. And then you guys can see we've got the standard center console and then the glove box. All that stuff is normal, so nothing's changed there. We still get the auxiliary switches, so if you want to add bumpers with light bars, all that kind of stuff, you can. You're more than welcome to because that's already optioned out there. And then again, here's another look at those seats. Maybe that stitching is about the same that's on the vents. They're both kind of like light blue. Definitely interesting, but let's pop under the hood and see what engine this Outer Banks has and see if Ben Hardy's camera will ever focus. And look at that cyber yellow. I'm just kidding. I have to say it because it looks more yellow than orange. But under the hood, if I ever get it open, we have the turbocharged 2.7-liter V6, goes through a 10-speed automatic transmission, good for 330 horsepower and 415 pound-feet of torque, gets 18 around town and then 20 on the highway. You guys know I'm a huge fan of the 2.7 V6. I will say the 2.3 is no slouch. I've driven both of them. I like both of them a lot. And also, look, everything is painted in the cyber yellow. I got to keep saying that because it's funny. But I am attempting to show you guys the window sticker here, but there was just way too much glare. So you guys can kind of barely see it, but then not really at the same time. Anyways, total MSRP on this is $49,785, which for all the options it has, for everything that it's all about, I think that is a really, really good price. Like the Bronco is such a good value. I mean, in terms of like an off-road SUV, it's probably the best in the market right now. Now that's going to sum things up for our review, or rather this walk around on a Bronco. Again, a huge shout out and thank you to Performance Truckland up in Bountiful for giving me some time with the Bronco. Again, I'm going to include a link to their inventory in the description down below. I'll see you guys.